BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and it's the first time you're seeing my face, hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have my April TBR. How are we already in the 4th month of the year, guys? Like, the first quarter of the year is done. Get the fuck out. Just get out. Like, no, that's dumb. That's dumb. Time's going by way too fast for my comfort zone. But a new month means a new list of books for me to try to complete my TBR. And this month, I'm hoping to do some damage. I'm hoping to do some serious damage to my TBR. So if you'd like to find out what is going to be encompassing my reading month in April, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, so April, guys. As always, I have my 2 book club books that I need to get read for the month. And then the rest of my TBR is going to be a little different, as has been every single TBR this year. Because as many of you know, if you've been following me at all, I've been participating in the book gauntlet, which looks like this. This is this giant bingo board of all these reading challenges that I can complete in a year. And some of these I assigned to specific months that I want to do to focus my TBR to kind of like scope that. Last month I did the scavenger hunt. And I'm gonna be honest, I had fun with it. I did. However, I didn't get to scavenger hunt for a second book before I had to read the other 2 books of that month to get them read for my book clubs and everything like that. So you're going to see that one again, not this month, but you're going to see it again. But I did have a lot of fun with that one, but this one I'm going to just go with my original plan and all that jazz. So let's find out what I'm going to be reading that I have to get read, and then we'll get into the rest of the April TBR, because it's gonna be fun. At least I hope so. It could also blow crazy. It could also blow up in my face. So there's that. So, okay. So for the first book club is my Black Hat Book Coven. If you are not familiar with the Black Hat Book Coven is at this point, it is an online book club that I am a member of with 3 other lovely ladies over here on YouTube. Becky from FirstLadyReads, Kristen from Kristen Craves Books, and Laura from A Cozy Side Quest. And we read witchy books. That is literally all we do. This shelf right here are some of our selections that we've already read and some possible future selections. Because each one of us picks a book. We have separate in quarters, and each quarter we each get 1 book, and then we read them, and we have 2 shows on it. We have a reading sprint, and then we have a live show. And this month's pick to end out the first quarter was Becky's. And she picked a new release that is be coming out in just a few days, and that is Meg Schaefer's The Book Witch. It looks like this. I don't know much about this other than it's kind of a cozy book fantasy story, and I think, if I remember correctly, a girl has the power to jump into books. She can't change anything within the story. She just can go into the story, make sure all the characters are doing what they're supposed to be doing, kind of like a really fancy librarian guard. I don't really know. I don't really know how to describe it, but I think she falls in love with a character in the book, which kind of messes things up. So, but it is a new release coming out, and this will be the 2nd new release that we picked for this first quarter of books. So, like, or first third of books. Sorry, first third. Because there's 4 of us. I can do math. I promise. I can do math. My daughter's over there shaking her head because she's the math was in our house. I could do basic math, Elizabeth. Anyway, so we're going to be reading this book. The reading sprints are here, and the live show is here. I do not remember off the top of my head what days they are. I know they're both Sundays, but there they are there. So if you want to come join us, definitely come check it out and have a good time with us. We're a fun group. We are a fun group. And so far, the books this go around have been hitting. They have been hitting in all the right freaking ways. The first book was almost a 5-star. The second one was my pick, and I almost gave it 5 stars. And this third one Don't even get me fucking started. Oh my god. Yeah, they are slapping this year. They are slapping hard, and I'm loving it. And I'm super, super excited to see what this one does. So that is one of the main books I have to get read this month is my Black Hat Book Coming book, Meg Schaefer's The Book Witch. I'm very excited about it, and I'm looking forward to getting it. So the next book club I'm participating in is the Francine Rivers Book Club, where we are reading all of Francine Rivers, not all of them, but a lot of her backlisted works. This is being put on by TBR, and I will link her channel in the down box below. And every month she's chosen a Francine Rivers book, and we have read it. Last month's book's live show is actually this coming Sunday, so when it airs, I will come back and link it back up to that. But for this month, I'm super, super pumped because this series, for the next 3 months, we're reading the series, I believe is how it's working. And I'm super excited about that because I've had this series for quite a long time. It was on multiple TBRs. I've tried multiple lists. So I'm super ecstatic that this is finally happening. And that is A Voice in the Wind, The Mark of the Lion, Book 1. This is a trilogy. This is Christian historical fiction and Christian historical fiction romance. We have all that. This is set in ancient Rome. I'm super excited to really dive into this, okay? I've had it sitting on my shelf for so freaking long. So I'm super, super pumped. I cannot wait to dive into this. There are drawings in these books. There's images and stuff. That's so freaking, that's cool. I've had these books for so long that I didn't even know that. Maybe I did at one point in time, but I forgot. But yeah, so this is just so excited. I'm gonna read this little blurb here just to kind of get an idea. Torn by her love for a handsome aristocrat, a young slave girl clings to her faith in the living God for a deliverance from the forces of a decadent realm. I'm so excited. I'm very, very happy that this made the list to read for this book club. Actually, I have to admit that Redeeming Love and this series are the main two reasons I really wanted to jump into this book club. Not only do I love Francine Rivers, but I really wanted to have another reason to pick up this book other than the fact that I wanted to, and something kind of propelling me to. So very, very excited about this. Looking forward to it immensely. The live show has not been scheduled yet for it. So when it does, I'll just put it in the down box below. But yeah, I'm super, super excited to really dive into this one. You have no idea, people. You have no freaking idea. Okay, so those are the 2 books that I needed to get read this month. The rest of this TBR is going to be based off the challenge from my Gauntlet challenge of physical TBR. That's the bingo slot that I assigned to it. Now, essentially what this is you're just reading books off of your physical TBR. Well, that's what I'm fucking doing, okay? That's what I've been doing the last 3 freaking months, okay? Let's just call a spade a spade. That's what I've been doing, although I have been hitting the audiobooks quite hard. So I decided to narrow the scope down to really kind of challenge me. And so I decided that to complete this challenge, the physical TBR was only going to encompass my backlisted Book of the Month books. Some of you might remember that last year I tried this Book of the Month challenge where I was reading at least 1 or 2 of my pre-owned Book of the Month books to try to get them read and out, kind of interspersed, because they're taking up a lot of space. I am no longer buying the Book of the Month box, so they have decreased in their growth, and now I just need to kind of contain them. I really need to start hitting and figuring out which ones I want to keep, which ones I want to read, which ones I probably never going to. I just recently did a very big unhaul. I'll link it here in the corner. There were quite a few Book of the Month books in there, some read, some not read. Those are the ones on the very first glance, I'm like, yeah, I'm not keeping this, okay? What I'm going to do now is I am actually going to start really weeding them down. So I have a plan. I'm going to go get you guys reset up over my Book of the Month section because I'm in my library now and the books are laid out. So I actually have sections of stuff, people. I feel so blessed. You have no idea how happy I am about this. This is so cool. So I'm going to pause you real fast and I'm going to get you reaccentuated over to my Book of the Month section, and then we'll keep going on with the TBR. So I'll see you real soon. Okay, we are back, guys. Welcome to my book of the month section. As you can sort of see, it starts right here, and then it goes here, and then it goes all the way down here. Now, I have exactly 51 books on these. 51 of these bad boys that I haven't read yet. That's dumb. That's just dumb. So what I decided to do was to try to randomize this, but also have a little bit of fun. So I have stolen my daughter's phone, and I have a random number generator set from max of 1 book to, or max of 51 books. And I'm just going to random number generate, and that number I'm going to count down, and that's the book that I'm going to read. And we're going to do that 5 times. 10% of 50 is 5. I have 51 books, but I already have 2 that I have to read this month, so there we go. So we're going to pick these 5 this way. So it's going to be a surprise for you and for me. So let's do this right now. Okay, I just went to her Spotify. Crap. Boo! There it is. Got it. Found it. She's listening to her Spotify right now, so she got real scared real fast. She was like, I got big, like, no, touch my stuff. By the way, she's listening to Sleep Token. Dope. I raised her right. Absolutely. Sleep Token for the freaking win. Okay, so we're going to generate, and then the number's going to appear right here. I'm trying to get where the screen's not going to. All right, it says 23. All right, 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Holy shit! I was hoping for this one. Okay, so this is Georgie All Along by Kate Claiborne. So this was originally from February of 23, so I've had this one for quite a while, and I remember exactly the reason I picked this one up, because look at this fucking cover. Look how bright this is. Does this not perfect for April? Spring, right here. Bright ass yellow. That's not so springy, but this cover is just, oh, perfect. I'm very, very excited. So let's find out what this thing's about, because I don't actually remember, because I picked it up because of the bright ass yellow cover. Let's just be honest. Longtime personal assistant Georgie Mulcahy has made a career out of putting others before herself. When an unexpected upheaval sends her away from her hectic job in LA and back to her hometown, Georgie must confront an uncomfortable truth. Her own wants and needs have always been disconcertingly a blank page. But then Georgie comes across a forgotten artifact, a friendfic diary she wrote as a teenager filled with the possibilities she once imagined. To an overwhelmed Georgie, the diary is simple, small-scale ideas are a lifeline, a guidebook for getting started on a new path. Georgie's plans hit a snag when she comes face to face with an unexpected roommate, Levi Fanning, one-time town troublemaker and current town hermit. But this quiet, gorgeous, I read gorgeous and it says grouchy. This is how you know I read way too many romance books. Okay, this is a telltale sign that you need to start switching genres when you start reading words that are not actually there just because they start with the same letter. You've seen it too many times. All right, where was I? A grouchy man who is more than just his reputation, and he offers to help Georgie with her request. As the two make their way through her wish list, Georgie begins to realize that what she truly wants might not be in the pages of her diary after all, but right by her side, if only they can find a way to let go of the past that hold them back. Sounds like a nice little rom-com for spring, so yay. There's number 1. Yay. All right, let's get her thing back up. All right, so we're going to generate again for number 2. It's number 11. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, we're getting a retelling, guys. This is Hester. This is Hester by Lori Lico Albanese. This is a retelling of The Scarlet Letter. So, nice little romance. Okay, here we go. But it's a little bit, a little bit dark. We got the Scarlet Letter with the A, adulteress, all that stuff. So, here we go. Isabel Gamble is a young seamstress carrying generations of secrets when she set sails for Scotland in the early 1800s with her husband Edward, an apothecary who has fallen under the spell of opium. He has piled up debts, forcing them to flee Glasgow for a fresh start in the New World. But only days after they arrived in Salem, I've been there. I have seen Nathaniel Hawthorne's house. I didn't go into it, but I've seen it. It was cool. Edward abruptly joins a departing ship as a medic, leaving Isabel penniless and alone in a strange country, forced to make her way by any means possible. When she meets a young Nathaniel Hawthorne, the two are instantly drawn to each other. He's a man haunted by his family's role in the Salem witch trials, while she's a skilled needleworker troubled by her own mysterious talents. As weeks pass and Edward's safe return seems unlikely, Nathaniel and Isabel grow dangerously close. Together they are a muse and a dark storyteller, the enchanter and the enchanted. But which is which? This sounds so much fun. I'm excited. And look at this cover. Again, perfect spring cover, guys, right? Nailing it with the spring stuff. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. My daughter's shaking her head. She's like, I can't believe you just did that, boys. All right, so let's generate for number 3. So, click. 13. All right, so that was 11, 12, 13. A River Enchanted, another retelling. That's awesome. This is a retelling of, I'm pretty sure, is it Oedipus or Odysseus? Maybe it's Odysseus. I think it's what it is. I think it's Odysseus. I would think it is. We'll just find out. It starts with a letter and an ominous journey across dark waters. 10 years after being sent away to the mainland to become a bard, Jack Tamerlane is summoned home to Cadence, but his return is not a joyous one. Girls are going missing from the island, and Adaria, future leader of the clan, believes Jack is the only one who can find them. Enchantments run deep on Cadence. Gossip is carried by the wind, plaid shawls can be strong as armor, and the smallest cut of a knife can instill fathomless fear. The elemental spirits that dwell in every breath of air, splash of water, blade of grass, and flicker of fire, and find mirth in the lives of the humans. Kidnapping the Tamerlane girls is a step too far, though, and it's only through a bard's music that the intangible spirits can be summoned to explain where the girls are. I thought this was, maybe this is not a retelling. I thought this was for some reason. But it sounds dope. And I have quite a few Rebecca Ross books, and I actually have heard very good things about this book. So I'm excited. Promising. We are having lots of promise with this so far. Maybe this go around is actually being super nice to me. All right, let's generate for number 4. 39. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. This is like spring all over again, The Golden Couple. This is by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekin. This is a thriller. Wealthy Washington suburbanites Marissa and Matthew Bishop seem to have it all, until Marissa is unfaithful. Beneath their veneer of perfection is a relationship riven by work. Okay. And a lack of intimacy. Marissa wants to repair things for the sake of their 8-year-old son, and because she loves her husband. Enter Avery Chambers. Avery's a therapist who lost her professional license. Still, it doesn't stop her from counseling those in crisis, though they have to adhere to their unorthodox methods, and the Bishops are desperate. When they glide through Avery's door and Marissa reveals her infidelity, all three are set on a collision course, because the biggest secrets in the room are still hidden, and it's no longer simply a marriage that's in danger. The Golden Couple, perfection is deceiving. Well, that sounds interesting. This is also February of 2022. This is a February of 2022. And Hester was in October of 2022. So, 2022 for the win. All right. All right, so that is our 4th one. So we got one more, and then I can give my daughter's phone back to her because she needs it. All right, ready? Generate for the 5th one. 34. Okay. So, if that was 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 30, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, some fat ones. The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi by Shana Chakraborty. I have heard really excellent things about this one. Excellent. This is a deep seafaring one, and I'm always down for a seafaring story. Always down for it. Amina al-Safari should be content after a storied and scandalous career as one of the Indian Ocean's most notorious pirates. She survived backstabbing rogues, vengeful merchant princes, several husbands, and one actual demon to retire peacefully with her family to a life of piety, motherhood, and absolutely nothing that hints at the supernatural. But when she's tracked down by the obscenely wealthy mother of a former crewman, she's offered a job no bandit could refuse. Retrieve her comrade, F my life. I cannot read publicly, guys. But when she's tracked down by the obscenely wealthy mother of a former crewman, she's offered a job no bandit can refuse. Retrieve her comrade's kidnapped daughter for a kingly sum. The chance to have one last adventure with her crew. Do right by an old friend and win a fortune that will secure her family's future forever. It seems like such an obvious choice that it must be God's will. Yet the deeper Amina dives, the more it becomes alarmingly clear there's more to this job, and the girl's disappearance then was led to believe. For there's always a risk in wanting to become a legend, to seize one last chance at glory, to savor just a bit more power, and the price might be her very soul. Well, shit. Okay. All right. And this was a March of 23. So we start off with 23. We're anyway, it's 23. But these are the 5 books that I'm going to try to read off of my book of the month previously owned books. Now, there is another hiccup to this guy because I want to get through these books. I want to downsize this. I want to keep the books that I want, read the ones that I enjoy, and I really want to start diving into these because some of these stories do seem really, really awesome. And here's the problem. I will always pick something else over these because they kind of sit over here by themselves, and then when I read them, if I like them, then they get put into their section of the library that they belong. So, to rectify this, there is an extra challenge being put on top of all these books. So, I have randomly generated 5 books. This might not be the only 5 that I'm reading. These are the 5 that I'm starting off with. Now you're probably thinking, like, Jackie, you never could put your fucking TBR. What the hell are you talking about? One of my goals this year was to really embrace the DNF. And here's the problem. I was able to DNF 2 books this year so far, but last month I read a book that I probably should have DNF'd, but I kept fucking going. I kept fucking going because of the challenge that I wanted to do with the scavenger hunt. So, to prevent myself from doing that and only getting maybe 1 or 2 of these freaking read, this is what we're instilling. For this challenge, I'm going to read up to the first 35% of the book. Now, 35% depends on the pages of this book. So 35% for this book is going to be far different than 35% of this book, okay? Fully aware of this. I'm already aware of that. So, I will read up to 35% of the book. If I am not hooked and want to continue at 35%, I have to DNF it, auto-generate for a new book that goes on the back end. That's what I'm going to tell myself I'm going to do. That's what we're hoping to do to make this actually worthwhile. Because to complete that box on my bingo board, I have to read at least 5 of my physical TBR. So, I have to read at least 5 of them. I have to complete 5 of them. Now, however, if I start it at 35 and at 35%, I don't want to continue on with it, and I DNF it, I'm still counting it as a book read for this year for my book goal, okay? I'm still fucking counting it because, let's see. For Georgie, this book is 331 pages, so 35% of that is, let's find her calculator. Let's see. I don't know how to find stuff on my daughter's phone. We're just gonna have her find it. Yeah. So 3. Okay. Thank you. Haha. All right. So, how many pages did I say this had? 300 and fucking what? 31? 331 times 35% equals. It's 115 pages. That's that could be a novella. So that's what I mean, is I've gotten enough into the book that I feel like I would feel comfortable DNFing if I don't want it. But at the same time, I've read enough of the book that I should be able to count it as a book read in my thing, in my Goodreads goal, okay? Let's just be honest about it. So, that is what I got. I'm going to go put all these books together, and then we're going to see what this bad boy looks like, so I'll see you back in a little bit. Okay, guys, I am back in my normal filming spot. The other way was fine, but I was kind of like this, and it was awkward. So, recap. Here we go. Here's what it looks like, guys, plus my book of the month, my Black Hat Book Coming book. Yeah, look at the thickness. Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun TBR, guys. But I do feel like I got some good stuff. I've got one that's been on my TBR for a long-ass time. And I feel like I picked some of the more, not more popular, but the Book of the Month books that I remember being excited about. Because I know for a fact that I picked this book. I know for a fact that I picked this one. I remember clear as day picking this one. Remember clear as day picking this one, and I'm pretty sure this was just an add-on. I'm almost positive this was an add-on. So 4 out of 5, I knowingly picked as my book of the month. So, yeah, because I think this was an add-on. Yes, I think this was an add-on when I picked this book. So, yeah, knowingly picked all of these. So that is it. I'm going to take a win where I can take a win, guys. And it's very bright. And I feel like this is going to be a good TBR. I feel this is going to be a good month. So, this is what I got for you guys. And wish me luck. Wish me luck on keeping to that DNF principle. Remember, 35%. If I don't like it at 35%, I have to DNF it and then auto-generate a new book. Okay? That's what we get to do. And then hopefully this will help weed down some of these. And then I can do another unhaul video later on this year, because I need some more space over there, because I would still like to grow. We're still on the active, like, I did a really big unhaul, but who knows? We might have to do another unhaul again. Who knows? We'll find out though. But that's what I got for you guys, and I will see you guys all soon with another video.